Welcome to the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Full Buddy Cast. Now, Full Buddy Cast is presented by, I want to thank Cole Street for all these years for, being a part of the podcast during COVID. They were more involved, and so was I more involved with them. And then after COVID, it just kind of became we're associated, love each other, but just don't do as much together. Same thing with Bordeaux Wine Bar. I remember having one of our first live Bordeaux private sessions there. Sounds pretty exclusive. That was at the old spot. New spot, we had a couple lives as well. Pretty fun. Mazatlan, shout out. Super cool time with Andy and with, just the whole Enumclaw Mazatlan crew. We've had Full Buddy Fridays there. Lots of meetups, lots of hangouts. Andy, an absolute fun guy. And then towards, most recently, I should say, we've had a lot of fun with Dan Coot Snyder and O Chef Country Kitchen, and just with the menu items, with the lives, have him coming on. Just had a lot of fun. Every so often, I like to kind of reminisce about Full Buddy Cast and how it started and kind of what happened with it. Obviously, for those newer people that are listening, it's just good to kind of give you a little bit of a history on this. This started back in 2015, I want to say. Let me just double check the dates on that as I pull up some of the apps. But, started in the living room of a condo in Sumner, just a table and two microphones. And I thought, I'm going to have a bunch of people on that I know. I was actually on a podcast prior to that, had a lot of fun because I love to talk. And we just kind of got together, and I was like, you see people with, like at the gas station or at the grocery store, you just run into them maybe at a restaurant, and you kind of catch up for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. Facebook makes it easier, obviously, to kind of know what's going on in life, and then kind of helps drive that conversation, at least. You sound like a stalker, but so I was like, I'm just going to do that. I got a lot of different friend groups from school, high school, Enumclaw, church, Kent, Safeway, Maple Valley, and then just kind of as things went along, friends that, whether they had something pretty traumatic happening in their life or, even sports, people having Super Bowls, then their team was in it and talking some trash and then just even as time grew, we eventually hit COVID. I'd like to plug businesses here and there too. When the board game, what's the Game Vault opened there on Cole Street Game Vault, they, we had conversations. Let's talk to them. I really wanted to have Underground, oh man, I'm blanking now. I gotta shut this door actually, but the Roaring Underground, I wanted to really have them on as well. But I had some people from work on, and then we had girls trips and all these different things. There was one point though early on that it was just going to be me and my friends and people who I knew. But as the podcast got a little more involvement, we had people that really, I was like, I was really into Barstool, still am, but at the time, just to see all the different types of shows out there. So then I was like, well, I had Bobby Martinez, and so we did Full Bobby Cast, Mark Herbert Schmidt. Dude's got a million ideas in his head and quirky, funny humor. So I thought but he can ramble forever. So I had to cut it off. We're 20 minutes to leave your mark, because he would go for 4 hours. And And then we also want to do premenopods, and we had Corinne and Amber, and we were able to, go through these little funny type conversations, kind of a girls podcast. And then, well, prior to all this, I had Zach Peterson on, and I used to have zero alcohol. Obviously now I'm associated with Cole Street Brewery and Bordeaux Wine Bar. But before it was like, we're just going to no alcohol. I didn't really want things to get wild or weird. Sarah M. Johnson, who has been on shows with Sarah, just basically just having her on, as well as we had Goal Buddy Cast with her and my brother, where we were setting goals for a year and would check in monthly and hear about everyone else's goals. And that was a fun show. But she brought the first cider on, and then, I had that, and then Kainoa, I think he brought some beers on too. We had beers. And then Zach Peterson brought some Four Locos, and then we had the Two Dorcos with Four Locos episode, which was a lot of fun. And that episode right there was the one that really probably catapulted. That was, in my opinion, the pivot point of the podcast. And I just saw Zach actually waiting outside for his kid today. He was waiting outside of the at the bus stop, and what a good dude. And those conversations we had, we pulled out the yearbooks and just kind of laughed our way through. And well, his cousin Joey Hollenbeck, I didn't really know Joey, just some passing conversations here and there. And then he hit me up, DM'd me, and said, "Hey, let's get, come on, let's do it. Let's get me on there." And listen to my cousin. I want to be on there too. What's it take? And I charged him $5,000. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. But I had him on. He was a hoot. He was a lot of fun to have on. We gelled almost immediately. He has, he's the type of guy that can talk about himself forever. And I'm the type of guy that could probably talk about myself forever. And so you put us in a room trying to talk about each other, or ourselves, not each other. It's just funny. I think it's good riffing. And super shout out to my brother, actually, before we get into Joey. Super shout out to my brother for being there continually. He'd always like to represent himself with his business, which I'd love to give him the platform for, but or board games, pretty much anything passionate he had, even the Goal Buddy Cast. He was super always involved, super ready to record. Anyway, so shout out to him. He's been a huge part. He even designed the logo. I remember hitting him up and saying, "Hey, can we get the logo? This is what I'm thinking of." And he put it together for me pretty quick. And that's what you see on the Full Buddy Cast logo everywhere, even with the shirts and the hoodies and everything that we had going there. So anyway, we get Joey on, and I really wanted to do a reoccurring show with Joey, just like I had with Bobby and with Mark, because Joey is very electric. He's just a lot of fun. He can talk trash. He can take the trash talk. He's a football bro, very quick-witted, and very sarcastic. Just a really fun guy. And then once we got him going, then I was also, I want to do a kind of a sports where we enter sports. We're play off the words of Sports Center, and we had Kyle KP, had Tyson on. I think I had Tyson on a little bit before that too, where Tyson was gambling, was doing food reviews and restaurant reviews. He really wanted to start that up. Got the camcorder out, made some clips here and there. Video editing is not my forte. That took me absolutely forever. When I first started the podcast, even editing the audio took me forever. I was really meticulous on taking out the ahs and the ums and the pauses and the laughter and likes like that. If you listen to Joey's podcast, he'll hear the word "like" 100,000 times per episode. Especially as the drinks get flowing more and more. So, and then once I was talking to somebody and they're like, "You know what I like about," and there's a couple times where I didn't edit, because I realized like freaking 30 people are listening to this thing. Like, who am I editing this for? Like a huge, massive audience or, corporations? No, it's just us. So why am I editing so much? And then as COVID kind of picked up and became something, I actually had my cousin Aaron on a few times. That was nice to catch up with him. We had some YouTube strikes from the audio that we were using, because we were using some audio that's copyrighted. So, and in fact, shout out to Kainoa for being, hey, listen, put that on YouTube so I can listen to it. I don't like streaming other things. I like to listen to when I work out on YouTube. And I'm kind of jumping around here, but then we got into kind of COVID. With COVID came the Enumclaw discussion board, because I got kicked out of the other Enumclaw group, and one of the coolest groups, people that I was, kind of had been a part of was that group. But our person that came in was Holly Graff, and I didn't really know Holly Graff at all. Yet I know I call myself the king of Cole Street, dude. She could be the queen of the Claw. I mean, she knows everybody. She's there's only a few people that I would say are very influentially like cool and demure, and very whatever cutesy, and that's Holly. And there's like probably a handful of people that I would say that are probably more involved with the business structure, that are probably obviously doing more for the community. But for her entertainment value, and especially at that time when she was going live, Unwind with Holly, she was just having a fun time with her selling her wines that she sells. And then which I want to give a shout out. I'm trying to think of the friggin' name. It's like oh man, well, hit Holly Graff up, but it's gosh, I can't think of it right now. I can think of the Horse and Plow because of the whole Enumclaw. They have a new line. Gosh, I can't think of it, but let me see if I can look it up. Well, let me actually look at her profile, because I'm sure I'll find it. But yeah, it was during it was during all the craziness when it comes to COVID, and she was a big part of entertaining people, and that's what I really liked as well. I love to entertain. She has that same vibe where she just really cares about people, and she loves to entertain people as well, and make people laugh. But where is her flippin'? I'm on her Facebook, and I'm just scrolling and scrolling. Oh, Scout and Cellar. There we go. Scout and Cellar. So hit her up for that. But she's awesome. Shaylee Green was a part of all that. I'm just thinking of people out. I mean, we had Amber D. Wolf and Amber Keating and Amber. It was just, she kind of brought in, and I accidentally kept wishing her sister Amanda Keating a happy birthday instead of Amber, which then that's how I would say Amanda and I, she was able to join and be friends, and then I started the Patreon as well. A lot of friends that have been a part of it. Oh, big shout out to Garage Night coming in as well. That really helped the Fridays with everything with Craig and Corey Bentley. Now Craig got together, he's like bringing me some beers, and he bought shirts, and he's like, hey, it'd be cool to be on, and maybe we could do our own little thing. And we're talking about it, and he's like, yeah, Garage Night, bring my brother on, bring my friends on. Now turns out half the group of his friends at that time, and probably still now, not big fans of me. Get it? I understand. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. So not everyone came on, but we did have some huge support from his, Seth Loop was huge. Jamie, blanking on names. I just kind of went off the cuff on this one. I just wanted to really get it out there. But oh man, I gotta jump into my Patreons. I can see his face. Help support his kid's softball team. Jamie Roberts, part of it, and then also we had Jared Skelly, the Scary Skellies, Jackson being a part of it as well. These people kind of came over from the garage night. Always, and then shout out to longtime support, Kellen Hall, Eric Madrid as well. Cassie Spencer, met her. I think she's friends through possibly Amber and Corinne. And then she came to a live show with Joey. We had that at Cole Street. And she was a lot of fun. She's been a podcast supporter, whether she likes it or not. She's just been here forever. Then Amanda Keating, of course, Shekinah Sarver, Jared Skelly, Shekinah, part of the girl group that we did the girl what's that called? Girls trips that I was a part of. Went to my uncle's golf course. That was a lot of fun. Mel, Veronica's Hot Topics. Desi B, big part. She was on here for a long time, helping out, supporting everything. That's how I got to meet her, through Holly. I thought she was a bot, and then she turned out to be a real person. Sasha Carey Lynn, coming from Edison City Ale House, just happened to be scrolling, wanting to hear about beers and brewing, and me and Sean from Cole Street put together a Brew Ha Ha, where we would go have some beers, talk about how he would make those. We would discuss small business things. We would discuss he might tell a hunting story, or he might tell some sort of story. Sean, a very good interview. Really enjoyed him. And so they were in Tacoma, opened up Edison City Ale House. I don't think that's there anymore. There is an ale house, but they ran it for a few years, and got to go visit them, had some beers. That was a good time. We'd have the Bordeaux Wine Bar. Again, they would be a part of fun events and hosting. That's how I met Thomas Savageau, and through him. And then we also, John Elias, Kim Elias, also a few other mutual friends through the Full Buddy Cast. John came on here, did a flight. I wasn't a wine guy at all. I didn't drink any wine. He brings me these wines for his new flight, and we had a great time chilling. And at the end of it, I was next thing I knew, I'm drinking flipping wines. Also, we were able to hook up. I was able to connect with one of my hugest childhood people, and that was Tim Noah. And then was able to go out to Tim Noah. He was a child singer, or he was a singer for children, back when we were kids. And the search of the wow wow wibble wazzy wazzle woodle woo. I think I got that right. Wibble wibble wobble wazzy woodle. Big fan of him. Jacqueline Loibel, Jacqueline Morgley from my high school days. My brother, we all went out to his the Pond Beyond. Go look it up now. He puts on shows and all that. We were able to interview him and just really thank him for who he was. And Seth Loop, also big shout out to Seth Loop. This is where the garbage can trash can chested thing came from. Where him, Desi, and myself went out there to kind of go help clear some land area for Tim Noah, while the entrance area, to make sure that kind of got cleaned up, and unburied some rocks, the rock entrance that had been overgrown with shrubbery. Seth went in there like a frickin' titan and was taking out all of the shrubbery there. He was awesome. Tim loved him. But yeah, so we were there, and some guy, hey, you're pretty strong. You're pretty trash can chested, which hurt my feelings, and he was talking to me. But that was a good time. Able to have my friend Jenna and her daughter on Harper. We were able to talk about the 49ers. We got Homer Robertson on there as well. Homer, big Niner fan, called my buddy Roger. There's a time during COVID where I would try to link up people. We had Mike on the mic. Mike on the mic was so much fun to have on the podcast as well. He's just a funny guy. He's just got he's got the I don't know. He's just so fun to talk with as well. He's just got the he's a good listener. He's a good conversationalist. He can kind of argue a little bit. That's Bobby's brother. Obviously, when I say argue a little bit, that's, I have to mention Bobby in that. But we had just some really good times. I miss the times having him on. Garage Night, I think we had actually over 200 episodes with Garage Night, or close to. And we had pretty much everything that you wanted to talk about. We had it on there. We even had Chef Kai Loop on. We had people that hated Garage Night, the name, on. A guy, Lee, was on there, hated it, but he was still on. Had Ira Potter on. A few different. I'm just kind of going through the different shows that we had. A full brother cast with me and my bro. Random chats with Adam. What else we do? Now I'm just kind of like just picking and choosing. Obviously, I had Billy Costello on. That was one of our most recent finds, where he came on through a mutual friend of us, me and Craig and Corey, and he is very delightful to talk with. He's just like Mark. He could talk about anything for forever. Very strongly opinionated. Definitely a entertainer as well. He's a character all in himself. He's authentic, but he knows how to entertain. He knows how to talk. He knows how to jab. He knows how to, really even kind of push people's buttons just a little bit. He enjoys all that. He's definitely an entertainer, but he's not fake, is what I'm trying to say. But he's definitely also kind of an embellisher, what I'd say, like an entertainer. Tell some stories, pretty cool stories of his youth and his childhood, and then moving over here to Washington. We had Full Buddy Fantasy Football for a bit. That's when Jared Skelly would send us questions. That's how Scary Skelly's got started on the Garage Night. But I think it started with the Full Buddy Fantasy because he's in the same fantasy league as Craig and Corey, and he would ask these questions of who he should start and who he should sit. But in reality, he was just trying to needle them as well through it. Mark Herbert Schmidt changed from 20 minutes to leave your mark because he felt like he needed to talk a little bit more, which I get it, to half an hour with Mark Herbert Schmidt. Again, very entertaining as well. Same type of thing. Then I'd been able to have some just random guests when they showed up. Adrian Cardenas was one of them. We had just random chats with a bunch of Holly, Mitch Follman. We were able to just connect with, Rambling with Rhiannon Brovold. I mean, that was a lot of fun. That was pre-COVID. She kind of stepped away from the social media light because she was kind of tired of the politics of social media. So it kind of killed it for her. I get it. It's not for everyone, but she was a lot of fun to talk with as well, to catch up. We had several different people that would support us as well. Let's see, of all the people that have done it, we had, I'm just going to name them: Kellen Hall, Eric Madrid, Kellen Hall, Rachel Heater, Holly Graff, Adam Kenny, Art, Cassie Scott, Seth Loop, Desi B, Cassie Spencer, Amanda Keating, Ira Potter, Anon Aber, Shekinah Sarver, Jared Skelly, Andy Cardenas, Homer Robertson, Veronica Lara, Ben Elman, Travis Johnson, big fan of him. He's a pretty cool dude. Jamie Roberts, Jamie Kenny, Apollo Doodle, Jackson Sidehook, Sasha Carey Lynn, Russell Brandon, good dude as well. Thomas Savageau, Cameron Stratton, the real estate there. Homer Robertson again, Jackie Van Hoof. That was a lot of fun to have them on. Jackie and Melissa Franz, they're on TikTok. Gosh, what's their name? There's a lot to remember for an old guy. Just turned 43. The Way We Live. Jackie Van Hoof. Oh, twice. And Dan Coote Snyder. We also were able to have Anthony Wright, Councilman Anthony Wright. Sage Hills Golf and RV Resort was pretty cool to be sponsored by them. Katri Hoban, super supporter, and Trudy as well. I don't know who this Trudy is. That's always been a mystery to me of who that was. Let me see if I've got anyone that we have that I possibly have missed. as well. We had some exit surveys that were like, well, I don't need to do this anymore. Some other reason. My kids need braces. He's not funny. That's anytime Andy Cardenas would leave, he would support for a full year, like all at once, boom. And then he would leave an exit survey that always said he's not funny, which hurt. So, some thoughts as I continue on. Again, this thing started back in 2015. And I might, we had Aaron Mayer on. That was a lot of fun. We had Aaron actually was one of the biggest episodes we had, and this was before all the other like those big episodes, like the random episodes, like reoccurring episodes. We had Aaron Mayer, high school friend. You can listen to it. He had a conversion van, like the TV, with the bucket seats and the TVs, the big old creeper van that you maybe would think of as a kid. Sweet thing. He would take it skiing. He would take it around. Well, he let his buddy Jerry borrow it. Jerry took it to the ocean and parked it on the beach. And the next thing you know, the tide came in and swallowed up the she-rod. That's what they called it, the she-rod. And Jerry called Aaron from Ocean Shores or wherever the ocean he was at and said, she's gone. And Aaron was like, thinking it was his dog, Jerry's dog. Who's gone? What's gone? He's like, the she-rod. What? Yeah, the she-rod. It's in the no. And Aaron goes, don't tell me. You're going to tell me on the air on Travis's podcast. And they called me up, and then they talked about it on the podcast. And so you actually hear the episode for the first time. You get to hear like Aaron hearing it for the first time of what happened, and in his reaction and his questions. That's a very fun one. That was my biggest episode. That was probably my most downloaded. And then we had let's see here. We had a 4.8 rating. We had, I want to say, we had 32 ratings and reviews, 32. And then we had one star, which I think was probably Lee saying change the stupid name, which kind of hurt. 630 episodes, which is a ton. And each one I've really enjoyed. I'm going to scroll all the way down. We got over 100,000 downloads and streams throughout the years. That was pretty cool. Over 30 people on the Patreon. That was cool. Never did I think this was going to happen. Yeah, 2016. So this has been going on for about 8.5 years almost. And had my daughter on as well a few times. We had all these different... we had Mark Drummond on and Rhonda Harrison Fisher on, and the funny thing is now they're married. I've been wanting to get them back on. I knew I randomly ran into Rhonda at an open house for Kibler. I knew Mark was single, and so I called up. I was talking to him like, you need to go on a date, because he was kind of talking to me. He's like, I don't know how to go on dates anymore. It's weird dating at this age, and this was a few years back. And I go, well, just go on you remember Rhonda? And he didn't really know her. He knew of her, but didn't really, even though he knew like a few of the other girls that she ran with in high school, he didn't really know her. And so I kind of set him up to where they would just go on a couple dates with her and just kind of get used to it and just say that to him or to her. Just like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to want to go on some dates. You're cool with that? And I'll pay and all that. And next thing you know, they're dating. Next thing you know, now they're married. And so, as long as it stays together, hey, credit to me. If it doesn't, it's okay. It was a fun little experiment. Those are jokes. But I forgot. Shout out to Rachel Heater. Early on, we didn't have really a spot. Like I said, we had a living room and people would come over to my living room and even when moved to Enum Claw. But there was a point where Rachel Heater and Justin Heater, who I had on, but Rachel was like, hey, I am part owner of Avalanche Delight. Did you want to use Avalanche Delight as a place for us to record? And or for you to record. And so I had her on. I had a few other people on, but we would just go there, eat our Avalanche Delight, and just record. And I bring my little laptop and some microphones, and this was before all the other stuff. But that was a lot of fun. Man, I forgot about that. Had Zach Cash on. I forgot that I had him on. We had a Jeopardy winning Brad Naring. Brad Naring being on, that was fun. He's a good dude. And then he also made a little Seahawks Jeopardy with my buddy Adam and Jamie. That was in 2017. I think I only had a few episodes. Like, this is crazy. So in 2016, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 episodes in 2016. I think 2017 I had just a handful as well. Probably, let's see, 2017, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 episodes in 2017, believe it or not. 2018, I was really thinking hard about, I kind of took a break. It looks like from June. Oh, this is nuts, guys. June 15th, 2017 for a full year. Didn't come back until July 13th, 2018. That's crazy. Then I had Sarah Johnson, Ty Stottlemyre. And then in 2018, I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So in the first 3 years of this podcast, I probably had, this looks like around 30 episodes. Then it came out 4 to 5 times a week starting in 2019 with Full Bobby Cast, Premenopods, Full Bobby Cast, 20 Minutes Leave Your Mark. Just boom, 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 all 2019, not knowing that heading into 2020, we'd be getting ready for COVID, right? So then in June, I had Zach Peterson, and then next thing you know, we're just doing a lot. Then we hit into, Zach and I, he hated this episode, man-on-man traveling, Travis and Zach series talking about his Italy trips and other thing like that. Then had Joey on, and then Holler with Hollenbeck started, and then we hit into then we had Rambling with Rhiannon. Adams, my brother, started Happy Little Trees, inspirational art stuff. 2019 Premenopods, heading into COVID without knowing about COVID. Mike on the Mic started up. And then all of a sudden, my cousin, and we did a ton in 2019. Boardacious started, best board games for hosting parties and Christmas stuff. COVID hits in February, things shut down. So we have a few episodes. We had Brian Shearson on, that was fun in January. And then COVID hit 2020. And let's see, January, February, and then we start hitting the COVID, and then we kind of pause a little bit. No, we keep going on. We don't even give a crap right now. Yeah, man, we're full entertaining. April, May, June. Next thing you know, we're doing lives. July. Yeah, so then it just kind of became a bigger deal and a bigger deal and a bigger deal. A lot more going on, selling merch, people supporting, appreciating everyone doing that, and then picking people up as we go. Why am I making this podcast, you might ask? I don't know. I had some time. Gonna carve some pumpkins a little bit. Here's the deal, folks. I am starting to think about shutting things down. It surprises me that I forgot that I shut the podcast down in a sense for a full year. Didn't record a thing. I'm not depressed. I got 2 kids out of the household now. I'm thinking about transforming the podcast room into something a little more livable because I got an older teenager that is, might be living out here at some point. And my dad is kind of putting in that bathroom, finishing up the bathroom that Joey and Corey and Craig and everyone really wanted to have out here, which is pretty cool. And it's been something that's kind of been on my heart a little bit. Just kind of like, I had some fun with it. Are we done? I don't think so. I kind of want to do pop-ins but I don't feel like there's a need for it anymore. I think there was a point I feel like there's a point during COVID that it was fun and entertaining. We go live. In fact, I think Craig Hilling posted, remember when the In-Cloud discussion board was funny? But there's, everyone goes back to regular life, and this may be not what's a part of it anymore. People kind of don't need this anymore. There's a million other podcasts, million other even video podcasts and sports, and everything's back. So if you have been a part of this, I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support and your love. Thank you for being a friend and being a part of this show. If you're really interested in keeping this thing going, content helps. And, I can only talk about so many Vegas trips before I'm out of content, right? And so if you have any content that you want to help put on, don't just give me ideas. Hey, it'd be fun for you to just do this. No, you do it. You tell me. Let's do it together. If run it by me first, right? But I don't have all the great ideas. I hated the idea of doing a discussion board, and now it's a great idea. And for when it was going, now it's kind of sucks again. But during the time, it was fun. So if you have some questions you want me to answer, message me. I'll read them on the air. Maybe I'll just do my own Travis Kenny episodes. I don't know. I don't know if that's entertaining enough. I kind of like the lives. If I'm going to do that, I'd like to go live a little bit more and maybe do that. But anyway, also it's like, is there a need? Who cares what I have to say? Who cares about me? Like, there was a point where I really was like all about me, and I'm not really about me anymore. I mean, I still am, but it's like, whatever. Been there, done that. I'm 43. I'm old. I'm fat. I'm bald. I'm gray. I'm an old man. Who cares about me? I don't care about me. If I don't care about me, why do other people care about me? No, I'm not saying that in a weird way, but I am saying it in a weird way. Anyway, Monday Night Football's on. Love you guys. Have a great week. Hope to talk to you guys soon. Message me if you want. Take care.
Welcome to the greatest of the greatest, a podcast that you never knew you needed, with interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice, asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.